An amazing 4 out of 5 Americans say they've abandoned their dream jobs and settled for their day jobs. Our next guest says it's never too late to start living your dream, and he should know he's been living his for more than 3 decades.
I just let my light shine. I just let my light shine. That's all. They say, "You're so happy." I said, J-E-S-U-S. Just thought I'd tell you, boys.
Jesse Duplantis has been preaching and sharing stories from his life for more than 30 years.
I've been happy. I have been enjoying myself. I enjoy being saved. Why? Because God is able.
Jesse's ministry reaches millions of people around the world, achieving the vision he was given by God.
You crazy? You like to get a lawsuit.
In his latest book, The Everyday Visionary, Jesse shares insight into how to make your dreams and goals a reality.
Well, would you please welcome author and minister Jesse Duplantis. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Thank you.
You have more fun.
Yes, sir. I enjoy being saved. I tried sad. I didn't like it.
It didn't work at all, huh?
It didn't work at all. You know, I'm the architect of my life, Pat. I made up my mind. I said, you know, God said I could have the joy of the Lord.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that Satan doesn't attack me. It doesn't mean trouble doesn't come. But he said, joy cometh in the morning, so I just wait for morning. That's all. Praise God.
New every morning.
New every morning.
You started kind of poor surroundings in Louisiana. Tell us about it.
Well, I was born we were born in poverty a lot. But I made up my mind that poverty is a curse.
Yeah.
That the best thing you could do for the poor is not to be poor. So then you could help the poor. So I began to think that way. And my mother said, I always had ideas. I knew I had to do something, but at that time I didn't know what to do. Yeah. So at 5 or 6 years old, you know, Mama said he's a little businessman. Then my daddy asked me one time, "What you want for Christmas?" I said, "Get me a lawnmower." He said, "A lawnmower? What are you going to do?" I said, "Daddy, I'm going in the cutting grass business." He said,
5 years old.
Oh yeah, I was ready. You know, because they pay you 50 cents to cut a whole acre then. You know, but at least I was able to do something so I could be a blessing. I bought my mother's first real washing machine.
Yeah.
Saved my money and did it. And she said, "This boy thinks," you know. I said, I knew I had a destiny and a destination, and I was going to get there.
Well, this book, Everyday Visionary, people have dreams, but most of them don't ever get their dreams fulfilled.
Yes, sir. And I'll tell you why.
Right.
See, God gives you a dream, and when he gives you a dream, that's wonderful, but if you don't have a plan to that dream, you got problems on your hand. God gave the most powerful man named Pharaoh a dream, but it didn't help him until he got that slave fellow named Joseph to interpret it. But after they interpreted it, it didn't help him neither.
Yeah.
And he said, "Well, what should we do?" Joseph said, "I got a plan." So God didn't give the power to the man with the dream. He gave the power to the man with the plan.
What's this mental mapping you're talking about?
Okay, I found out that, you know, people call Abraham the father of faith, but he's more than that. He's the father of mental mapping. He knew God built something.
Right.
He was looking for a city with foundations whose builder and maker was God.
Okay.
And at times, he'd say, what should I do? God took him out and said, "Look at all the stars. I'm going to give you children like that." Now, he told him that as an old man. I mean, think about that. But he had to put it in his mind. So this is not a self-empowerment book, because I want something that works. And God works. But you're going to have to work it, what he gives you. And I made up my mind that God will do whatever we can believe for.
I read it, you know, when your memories overwhelm your dreams, you're in serious problems.
Yes. Yeah, if your memories are bigger than your dreams. Yes, sir. And the reason for that is people are always living in the past, but the past never sees the future. See, so, I mean, every day I am looking forward. It's not just one vision. It's an everyday vision. If he told us to go in the world and preach the gospel to every creature, well, let's do that. But how do we do that? Well, that's easy. All we got to do is step out by faith, and God will do the rest.
That's right.
I have convinced myself that God can't lie.
I am persuaded.
I'm persuaded, brother.
What do you see coming down the road? You know, there are all kinds of things happening in our country and around the world. Has the Lord showed you anything?
Yes, sir. I'll tell you what's happening. God says, "You're the architect. I'm the architect of my life." There's a lot of trouble out there, but God has an answer.
Yeah.
A person told me the other day, "I can't afford $4 gasoline." I said, I remember my dad couldn't afford 29 cents a gallon gasoline.
Yeah.
That ain't going to change it. I said, what you need to do is don't make a living, make a giving. If you live by your giving, God'll make a living for you. I'm preaching now. I can't help myself.
You keep on. What about these destiny killers you talk about?
Oh, there's always someone trying to destroy your dream.
Yeah.
When people tell me, Pat, that I can't do something, they just told me I could. I don't. Why would God tell me to do something? When God told you to start CBN, it was impossible. But you know what? You did it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you knew God spoke. Instead of just believing that God spoke. I like what Paul said, I know in whom I have believed. And when you know something, it's going to come to
Well, I
pass.
can't tell you how many destiny killers we had. Oh, no, you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
do it. You can't even get into the front door.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
And they want to destroy it. And I asked the Lord, why do they do that? He said, because they see you getting to your destiny and destination, and it causes them to look at themselves and say, I'm not doing what God told me to do. Sure. So if they can criticize you, pull you down, it makes them look a little better.
In your life, what about discouragement? Does it come? And if you do, how do you overcome it?
Well, encouragement is the oxygen of the soul. Yeah. I encourage myself. I did something the other day. I just stood in front of a mirror and I said, Jesse, let me tell you what God thinks about you. And by that time, I had a revival going on with myself. And that's really the truth. I literally do that.
Yeah.
Because, I just spoke. I said, this is what God says about you. No matter what man says about you, what did the Lord say about me? I'll tell you one thing. I've stood in front of that mirror. I was preaching to myself, give an altar call and answer it myself. I see that. I see that. And I'll tell you, it's one of the most amazing things. The Bible said David encouraged himself in the Lord.
Yeah.
I just encourage myself. I mean, I don't deny the trouble. Don't misunderstand me. Sure. I don't deny things that are happening. But I'm looking at what God said. And if he can't lie.
That's right.
And I tell you what, people say, well, suppose it don't work. I say, well, suppose it does. Well, what you going to do if it don't? What you going to do if it does? So I just give them the same doubt they're trying to give me.
Sure.
And it just works.
Well, Jesse, it's a joy having you with us. And this book, where can you get it? Everyday Visionary?
You can get it in all bookstores everywhere, also on our website for our ministry and things of that nature. We're really excited about it.
All right.
It will minister to people.
The Everyday Visionary, from a man who's got vision and just bubbles over with enthusiasm. So good to have you with us.
It's an honor to be here,
God
sir.
bless you.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.